All right, there, friends and citizens. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. We're doing something a little different today, guys. You know, we like to bring our show on the road. So actually, today I'm here right on the facility of Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. That's right, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. They're located right here, 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the city of Morrow, Georgia. Now, they're one of the largest Ford dealers in the Southeast. And actually, they are one of our premier sponsors. You guys know we do high school football. Matter of fact, I'm going to run that advertisement for you guys right now so you can remember to keep it locked right here on WIGO. 1570 and also on the Real Talk Sports Show. But here's our ad here. This is what we do during the fall, thanks to the happy folks at Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln.
Hey sports fans, tune in for live high school football Friday, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at AllenVigilFord.net.
Yeah, guys. So, like I said, they are our premier sponsor for high school football. One of the things that we do here, Mr. Vigil has been a long time sponsor of community things that go on. He also does. He's a prime sponsor for, believe it or not, Arts Clayton. That's right in Main Street in downtown Jonesboro. Allen Vigil Ford is the premier sponsor for that venue as well. So that's the cool thing about working for a place like this. It's a family-owned business. We're not corporate owned, and then they really do a lot to give back into the community to make sure that the folks around them are thriving as they thrive. And speaking of that, if you want to help them, help me, help you, come on down here. I'm here today on Saturday. I'll be here all day until about 4 o'clock. We got some great deals going on, and the good news is I'm actually going to take you guys out on a lot in just a little bit. But we actually have vehicles on the ground, trucks. And I know a lot of you guys have been looking for trucks. We have an outstanding assortment now. The F-150s on the ground. We have a few Super Duties on the ground, and we have some coming in. And on some select models, dun, 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 we're even discounting. That's right, discounting is back. So this is your time if you have been looking for a vehicle, if you have been thinking, hey man, I'm trying to wait until things kind of get back to normal. They're not exactly where they used to be, but in fact, we are doing some discounting and there are some other great incentives available. So if you like, you can call me, hit me up on my work phone, 678-364-3979. Leave a message or I'll pick up and talk to you, and you can set up an appointment to come on here today or anytime during next week. Now, the other cool thing is that you actually can shop them 24/7 online at AllenVigilFord.net. So yeah, guys, now how cool is it to have a friend at the dealership? Mwah. So again, you can come on down and check me out. Like I said, again, hit me up on the work phone, 678-364-3979. Or if you just prefer to text, I know some of you guys like to text, you can text me at 678-410-9833. Well, you know, guys, there's always a lot going on in the world of sports, but especially here in Atlanta area. And once again, I got to tell you, man, the guys from the Atlanta Sports Council, these guys, I don't know what is in the water that they drink down there, but it's unbelievable how they have turned Atlanta into the sports championship destination in the U.S., especially when it comes to football and college football. So, as you guys know, or you may or may not know, the college football playoff has been expanded now from 4 teams to 12 teams. Now, before I go any further, I want to go on the record saying I think that's too many teams. Okay, I think really the number should be 8. I think 12 is too much. I think it takes away from the bowl system. I also think that to some degree, it starts to take away some of the exclusivity that we've always enjoyed with D1 football. That is kind of the bowl games and just only a few teams being able to vie for that national title. But you know, it's all about the money. And many teams have been clamoring that 4 is not enough. Of course, they clamored that 2 wasn't enough before. And so now 12 has been passed. And what that also means is that in the opening round, that I think 8 of the 12 teams will actually, excuse me, 4 of the 12 teams will actually get a home game. Yes, I think the understanding is that the top 4 teams get a bye, but that first round of playoffs actually will be at the highest available seeds after that will be on their home field. So yeah, I know a lot of people are excited about that, but again, it's really driven by money. I mean, I know everybody talks about the competition, but it really is about the greenbacks because, as you can expect, college football in general in the United States being the 800-pound gorilla that really drives the train for sports marketing. You can imagine the oodles of dollars that will be generated on TV. But not only that, I understand the towns that these colleges are in. I get it. They make money as well because you have all kinds of people coming in, flying in, hotels, restaurants. So I get the local economy gig, but I just think in terms of the thing that makes college football is the fact that it wasn't a huge swarm. Now, of course, there's some people that will say, well, brother, look at what's happened to March Madness. Originally, I think it was 24 teams, and then it went to 48, now it's 64 teams. And it doesn't seem that people have lost interest in that. Everybody always gets geared up about the Cinderella story. Everybody has the betting pools, but football ain't basketball. Football, one of the things that keeps football, I think, very, very popular is the limited number of games. It's just like pro football. The reason why pro football is just people are bonkers for it because each season you only get 17 games. It used to be as little as 12 games. And you only get the games basically a couple of times a week. So there is it's just like a rare diamond or jewel. What makes it valuable is its lack of availability. And we see that same thing here in our business right now. And for a long time, prices, and they still are in commercial vehicles, you have to pay, well, at least at our dealership, you're paying regular sticker price. But in some places around the country, guys are paying as much as $15,000 over sticker price. Why? Because of availability. That's what makes them valuable. So I just hope and pray that they don't overdo it here with the college football playoffs. I'm gonna just put in here. I'm gonna ask you guys what you guys think about it. And again, you're watching the Real Talk Sports Show, and I am broadcasting to you live right here from the facility of Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln. They're located 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the city of Model, Georgia. And like I say again, they are our title sponsor for high school football in the fall. And we actually do that right at Tara Stadium, right down the road here in Clayton County. So if you have a favorite team, whether it be Jonesboro, Mount Zion, Morrow, if it's some of the other teams there. I'm trying to draw like Lovejoy, whatever those teams may be. If you want to check them out when they come to Tara Stadium and play, we'll be right there. So Mundy's Mill is a whole host of teams. And then the other cool things is that we get visiting teams that come in, some of the outstanding teams like Woodward Academy, like Banneker, all these teams, Langston Hughes have come in and played here. So if you want to see some great football, check us out during the fall. And good Lord willing, once again, we will be there this fall doing high school football at Tara Stadium. But I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you think, I'll put it right here on social media here so you guys can see it. Do you think 12 teams too much for the yeah, so you think 12 do you think 12 teams is too many teams for the college football playoffs? I'll get your answer on that. Like I say, I'll pop it right up here on the screen. And then for those of you who are listening, if you want to chime in, here's what you can do. I'll give you the station number. You can call the station 404-361-1571. And our beautiful producer, lovely Lady E, will be there on premises to take your call. And she will either find a way to connect you into the broadcast on the air, or she'll get your question and we will answer your question on air. But that's our question. Do you think that 12 teams are too many for the college football playoff? Love to get your opinion on that. Like I said, again, you can hit us up here on social media. We're right there. And what I'm also going to do, for those of you who are watching on Twitch and on YouTube especially, we're going to put the link for the broadcast so you guys can pop in, just like Zoom. It works like Zoom. You guys can come on in and do it. So here's the question right here. Here it is. Bang. Do you think 12 teams is too many teams for the college football playoffs? Your thoughts. Love to get your opinion. You put it in the comments. I actually can see the comments as they come up on YouTube or on Twitch as well. So let me know what you think. And we would love to get your opinion on that. And I'm also going to put up this on the screen so you guys can see the question I'm asking. For those of you who are watching, and again, for those of you who are listening, here's the question. Do you think 12 teams is too many teams for the college football playoffs? For those of you who are listening to us on the legendary WIGO 1570 on your dial. Or remember, you can also check them out online at WIGO1570.com. But this is the question. Do you think 12 teams are too many teams for the college football playoffs? So let's get your answer on that. And oh, I forgot. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys log in to the broadcast. Here we go right here. This is the link. So if you guys want to join us here, you can do so. And we're going to put that link on the screen right now. And we're going to take a timeout and go to a commercial break. And we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, we are back here with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we're broadcasting to you live from the offices of the Commercial Sales Department of Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. And like I mentioned, guys, they are stocked now with trucks. That's right, F-150s are in stock. We have some Super Duties in stock. We have a great assortment of pre-owned vehicles, and we have obviously Ford vehicles of every type. We have SUVs, we have Mustangs, got a nice availability of Mustangs, several in stock. And like I said, before I get off this broadcast, hopefully we'll be able to let you guys come out and take a look at it in real time so you can see all the cars we have here. Because like I said, we do have cars in stock ready to go. So how cool is that? So now, again, that's our burning question for the day. Do you think 12 teams are too many teams for the college football playoffs? If you think the answer is yes, or if you think the answer is no, it does not matter, log in and join us. Now, here's, I'm going to set it up here so you guys can have the link to join the show. There it is right there. That is the link. You click on that link. You can go on your cell phone. You can go on your tablet. You can go on your computer. I also put it up on social media so you guys can join us that way as well. And there you be, right there. And click on that link, put it onto your phone or tablet or even your computer, and it acts like Zoom. If you don't want to come on camera, we can go ahead and pop you guys on, and just you can do your avatar. And we'd love to get your comments to see what you think about the idea. Is 12 teams too many teams for the college football playoffs? Me personally, I think it is. I just think that you water down the game. One of the other things that drives college football is that every game after about game number 6 really becomes a lead into the playoffs. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, why do you need another set of playoffs? And the other thing too is, think about this, guys. They're talking about the idea of doing this and the championship game being played January the 20th. Now I got to tell you, as a sports director of a small radio station, the cost to cover if the local teams involved in the playoffs, the National Football League playoffs, and then have college football playoffs, it's a lot. Now people say, well, dude, why don't you get more people on the staff? It is, but even then you talk about an expense. Now, fortunately, the first playoff championship is actually scheduled to be held in Mercedes-Benz, so I won't have to go far for that. But at the end of the day, just think about the idea of having to run around. The other thing too is, you kind of like the idea, at least I do, of college football having kind of like a break and saying we're ending before we get into the teeth of the NFL playoff season, so we're not so distracted. I know everybody says, hey, we could have football every day of the week, but really not so much. Okay. So this is my other problem. The idea that you have college football ending literally 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, unless you're going to try to push the Super Bowl back even another week. And now pretty soon we'll be playing Super Bowl in March, because last year, remember, it was played on Valentine's Day weekend. We're talking the middle of February. I'm just saying. I mean, at some point, we have to get the greed out of the system. We understand that, the revenues are what drives the train. But hey, man, we want so that people can enjoy it. We want to get a situation where, like I said, again, things are spread out. It's just, physical. I mean, football is a very physical sport. And I just think that, It's just too much. The other thing too is now we're going to have a 16 game season because that's almost what you're talking about. If you're talking a 12 team playoff, you imagine a team that maybe seeded, let's say they're not in the top four. Let's say you're seeded five. So that means you have to have a playoff game. That's another game. Then you have to have a semifinal game. Then you have to have a championship game. That's on top of your conference championship. Again, if you're not seeding that top four, you have to go through 3 or 4 more rounds of football. I mean, to me, if you're gonna, since they're gonna go to this, they should shorten that season. You should put a cap on these teams playing no more than maybe 10 or 11 games during the season. Not 12, not 13. I think probably cap it at 10, and then start the playoffs a week earlier, and let them still finish maybe Martin Luther King Day weekend, like the 14th or 15th, but no later than that. That's just yours truly talking. I just think that, it's just too much. So again, your thoughts on this? Do you think 12 teams are too many teams for the college football playoffs? Let me know what you think about that. And we'd love to get your comments or opinions. Like I say, again, if you want to be a part of the broadcast, here is the link right here so we can actually hear you, or in some cases see if you want to come on and you can pop on the screen. We'd love to have it. There it is our StreamYard link. It works like Zoom. You put in this in your phone, in your tablet, or on your laptop, and you will be a part of the show. So there we go. All right. So we're going to take a little shift here and get into a little bit of basketball. All right. Right now, of course, our Atlanta Hawks, after taking on the team that many think may be the NBA champions this year, the Boston Celtics, they fought, I think, as valiantly as they could under the circumstances, being outgunned and outmanned, and they end up losing 4-2 against the Celtics. But I got to tell you, in watching the Hawks play against the Celtics, they did at times look like they were a team that could play with anybody, and they've looked that way quite a bit during the season. They have looked like a team that really has the firepower to contend with anybody. So I'm going to ask this question: What what do you guys think the Hawks need to get over the hump? I mean, what is it going to take for this team to get to the next level and really do what they were about to do in 2021? Really contend seriously for an NBA title. What do you think the Hawks need? Who should they trade? I mean, every year everybody's saying get rid of John Collins, get rid of John Collins, but as you know how things work, sometimes when you talk about a person long enough, they kind of snap out of it. And John Collins, at least in the last 2 or 3 games in the series against the Celtics, he played the John Collins that we saw here in Atlanta 3 or 4 years ago when he was averaging, 20 points a game and about 10 rebounds a game. And he was a key factor in the Hawks winning or losing. So do you think that was an aberration? Hey, we're tired of that. He's inconsistent. Or how about DeAndre Hunter? Another guy who everybody, same thing, has had flashes of brilliance. He had 27 in one of the playoff games against the Celtics. He looked like, hey, this is a guy that was a guy we expect to get out of a top 10 draft pick. Or do you think they should stand pat where they are? What do you think the Hawks need to get to the level of what we're seeing now, like a team like a Boston, like a team like the 76ers or the Golden State Warriors, teams that consistently contend or are in the mix for the NBA title? What do you think the Hawks need to make that happen? Love to get your response or your opinion on that. And again, for those of you listening on the legendary WIGO 1570, you can call the number 404-361-1571, and we'll find a way to get you patched into the broadcast so people can hear you and I can get some feedback as well. Now, I'm going to check in just a moment with WIGO and see if our fabulous producer, Lady E, is in the building, because we like to bring her on to hear her opinion, because she is really a big sports fan, but primarily a Falcons fan. So I know she's going to jump on here during the Hawks segment. But yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think the Hawks need in order to get to the next level? And before I do that, I want to say this. I want to thank you all for, especially on YouTube and on Twitch, those of you who normally watch us on Facebook. I want to say thank you for joining us, because you may or may not know, bam, we have been blocked and we are locked out of Facebook. Yeah, Facebook has locked us out. I don't know what we did, but they are not feeling us right now, and we are now locked out of Facebook. We can't get into my account, and because I can't get into my account, that means I can't, do the sports show. And the crazy thing is, they blocked us in the middle of a broadcast. A week and a half ago, I was on the air, and all of a sudden, the thing flashed up and said, "Bloop! This video can no longer be seen on Facebook." I was like, "Hmm, that's right." It couldn't be seen on my page. It couldn't be seen on the Real Talk Sports page. Um, Nothing. I couldn't see anything at all. They literally just stopped the broadcast, stopped streaming. I mean, I was still streaming, but they basically said, "Hey, you're not streaming our page anymore." And they literally, if you were watching, been like watching a TV show, all of a sudden the screen went to black, and it'll be, "This is experiencing technical difficulties." So again, we appreciate those of you who have, navigated over from Facebook, to watch us on YouTube. We very much appreciate you for doing that. So yeah, it's this whole social media thing. Crazy. I mean, I gotta tell you, I mean, we need to be on it because that's how we do it. Because obviously, are we on WIGO 1570? We are, but a lot of people, especially since the pandemic, where we really primarily were just on social media, video streaming, people have stopped me and said, "Hey, I saw you." As much as anybody said, "I heard you on the radio," a lot of people say, "Hey, I saw you," because again, because of the pandemic, people were watching because they were bored. I'll admit it. But people tuned in and thought the Real Talk Sports is pretty cool. So we want to maintain that connection with those of you who have, found us via social media or live streaming. We're also on Roku. So we want to do that. But like I said, right now, at least on Facebook, um, yeah, they're not feeling us. And then they want me to send them a lot of stuff to verify, who I am. So I'm like, "You want my license? They want my stuff." Um, so I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about that too? I'll ask you that question. I mean, what do you think? Do you think I should give them all this information that they're asking me for? Because like I said, they're asking for a license and a bunch of other stuff. Um, and I mean, why do you need that? We're trying to verify who you are. I'm like, okay, well, there needs to be something else. I mean, there needs to be something else. I'm not, like I said, really feeling the idea of putting my information out there. Now, of course, the other big thing now that they're doing with social media is that used to be that used to have a certain number of followers before you could be get that little blue with a check mark that you're official. But in the quest for more dollars going into the kitty, once again, we now have it that you can buy your way on. You actually can pay. I think Twitter, you can become Twitter Blue, and you pay X Y amount of dollars monthly fee, and they will quote unquote make you a verified account. I tell you, man, the money grab is real. But yeah, guys, my question is here again for those of you who are watching and listening here on WIGO, Atlanta's pace setter here for AM radio, and also those of you who are watching online via YouTube or Twitch. My question is this: okay, what do you think the Hawks need to do to be an NBA title contender? I mean, what do they need to do to get to the next level? They need to make a trade. If they do trade, should it be John Collins? Should it be DeAndre Hunter? Should it be Trey Young? I mean, some people have said, "Hey, Trey has been a stat machine," but ever since 2 years ago, the Hawks haven't gone anywhere. Matter of fact, they've gone backwards. After ascending to play in the NBA Eastern Division Finals and being basic at that time a couple of inches away from possibly sneaking into the NBA Finals, the Hawks have gone backwards. Last year, they had to go into the playing game, and they had to do it again this year. Last year, they were swept by Miami. This year, I think they were on the verge of being swept by the Celtics. But Trey Young, to his credit, had a monster game 3 and a big game 5 to allow them to extend it to 6 games. But at the end of the day, like I said, they've gone backwards. NBA, Eastern Division, title series, 2 consecutive years in the play-in, barely. And this year at 500, and last year I think there were 3 or 4 games over 500. So what do they need to do? What do you think they need to do to get back to being NBA title contenders? Says a trade. Certainly, it's not a new coach who just got one of those. Or do you think, hey, I'm going off the rails? They should just kind of stay with what they have and just allow the coach who came in, to his credit, after the All Star game, only had about 20 games with the team, 24 games, to put his system in place. For those of you who don't know, Quinn Snyder, who used to be the head coach of the Utah Jazz, came on to Atlanta with about 24 games to play. And the Hawks played actually a little bit worse under him. They were just slightly under 500. But the players, pretty much to a man, said, hey, we think that this is the guy. And his track record speaks for itself. I mean, his coaching record is very, very good. He took Utah to the playoffs, I believe, 7 years. Let's kind of get his coaching record up. And at least two times, he got them to 50-win season. So again, his resume speaks for itself. So we know that the coach is not the answer. So what do the Hawks need to do? Well, let's do this. Let's go take a look here at what some people are saying. For example, in the AJC, they have a headline: is the Hawks' issue, is it possible to win big with Trae Young? And this has been a question that's come on a lot. Is in fact Trae Young the ascending superstar that we think he could be? Is he a guy that can really help this team get to the level we're talking about, or do they need to find some way to package him with players and draft picks to get somebody else? That's the question. It's a big question, because the Hawks gave up a lot to get Trae Young. When I say gave up a lot, they basically traded, it wasn't dead even, but they traded a draft pick, which turned out to be Luka Doncic, who's a guy who's been in MVP consideration since he's been in the league. He is basically a triple-double waiting to happen every game. He's had monstrous impact in the NBA. Matter of fact, people calling him almost a modern-day Larry Bird. I think it's a little bit stretch right now, and also they got a secondary draft pick with that, which turned out to be Cam Reddish, but they traded him because of evidently issues in the locker room. So I guess the big question is, for this team, can they find the leadership that they need, whether it be through Trae Young or whether it be through DeJounte Murray or someone else? That's the big question. We're just not sure. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here to a break. And then when we come back, we will have more of the Real Talk Sports Show, answer to the question, and we're going to have a special guest. All right, we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, and thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
All right, guys, we are back here with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and as you can see, we have our special guest in the building live from the studios of the legendary WIGO Pacesetter 1570. The one and only Lady E is back in the building. Lady E, what's going on?
Oh my goodness. Everything is going on.
Everything is happening.
How are you?
I'm doing great. So as you can see here, I'm in live right here from Allen Vigil Ford. I'm in the commercial sales department. A lot of people may or may not know I'm actually the commercial account manager here at the dealership. So we're very grateful to Mr. Vigil for allowing us to do the broadcast here. And he is a proud supporter of our high school football Friday night live telecast during the fall season. So yeah, big shout out to Mr. Vigil and everybody here at the staff.
Yes. Well, let me tell you today with WIGO. We have a special event going on, and it'll be happening in a minute.
Yeah, Shirley, right. That's right. Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called the first annual Jam for Peace. It is presented by Pastor Wheat, and we'll also have our own Kevin Buchanan hosting it. Uh,
Okay.
IDO crew will be there. I don't know if you can sneak away from Allen Vigil, but it starts from 11 to 6 p.m. and we'll have tons. We're going to have a job fair. So if you need a job, you need to come on out. I'm told that they could be hiring on the spot. So
What?
be there if you need some cash. Okay.
Okay.
We have a car show that's some pretty cars are going to be out there, some exotic cars. So you want to see that as well. Also, we'll have some performances in gospel, R&B, rap. We're going to have poetry, dance. We're going to have a raffle with prizes as well as a special guest or two or three.
Or four.
But you might want to come and see who it's going to be. Also, if you're hungry, we got food, drink as well. So it's going to be a fantastic event. You don't want to miss this one.
What you say? If you're hungry, you can come on down and get
Yeah,
some grub.
yeah, we'll have our food trucks, of course, out there
Wow.
with special stuff on the truck. So come on down, see us.
Well, I
We'll
tell you, it sounds like
start
that's going to be.
Star Park in Forest Park, Georgia, from 11 a.m. to
Okay.
6 p.m.
Well, yeah, it's called Jam for Peace. I'm gonna see if I can get the flyer up here. Let me see if I can get that done for us. I'm gonna give it a shot. No guarantees, but it is right in Forest Park at Stars Park. So again, great stuff going on there. So if you guys can make it, please come on down. They would love to have you there. And just man, it's just great to be support the community. You know,
Yeah,
people talk about the idea of they want good things to be happening. They want things that inspire people. So here's an opportunity to see something that really is going to do that. Again, it's called Jam for Peace, and again, we would love to see you out there. And it's going on. Matter of fact, it's about to start now in about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Yep. So,
absolutely.
and if my understanding is correct, that'll be going on all day long, correct?
Till 6 p.m. Yes,
Doesn't get too much better than that. Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, we can see you guys out there. And yeah, I will um, look to be out there. It'll be after work. I normally get off around 4 o'clock. So we'll look
okay.
to do that.
Yes,
And yeah, we'll do everything we can to try to support. You know how we do it. It's really we want to give back to community, and WIGO, legendary WIGO. That's one of the things that made them legendary. Even before our new owner, Miss Sheila Brown, bought the station, WIGO was well known in the community, especially Clayton County community, for being there with the big events. Many
absolutely.
times, whether it be me or Kevin or someone else, we were there live streaming, we were there recording, we were sharing on Instagram, Facebook, other mediums. So we always have been a part of the Clayton County. I would say even going further, the Southern Crescent community. When I say Southern Crescent, making up all of these towns and cities that are located in what we consider the southern belt underneath or south of I-20, so to speak. So if you live south of I-20, we consider you in the southern crescent.
Mm.
And WIGO, like I said, again, has been a leader in making sure that we were out there and supporting the community. So again, come out for the Jam of Peace, Jam for Peace, first annual, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's at Stars Park, right in downtown Forest Park. And I think some of the politicians will be out there. I think the mayor's supposed to make an appearance. A lot of people are going to be out there. So yeah, definitely if you can come do it and bring your kids, get some food. It's Cinco de Mayo weekend. Some
Mhm.
people, I know some of y'all might have to come late because you over Cinco de Mayo last night. So we get it, but the food will be there. You don't have to worry about cooking. All
Right.
that will be set for you. Just come on out and have a good time. Again, we will be there broadcasting live so you guys can check us out. Who knows? Lady, they might get a shot to get on the air, right? Maybe.
Maybe
Just get you.
get on the
Who
mic.
knows? Look, maybe I'll work something out. If you make a donation, we might let you come on talk about your business or something. I might have to hit Kevin up on that. See, make it do what it do coming out there and do it. So, lady, you heard me ask the question. I'm going to ask you, what do you think the Hawks? I know you're a big Falcons fan, but just for a second before we shift over to football, what do you think the Hawks need to do to get back to being a consistent contender for NBA title? What do you think the magic potion is for them?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really watched much,
Yeah,
but
I know.
they've got they need some type of replacements going on. They need some help in certain positions. I believe, but
You're like so many people that come. They always talk about they need to get rid of somebody.
well,
They-
not really. Maybe a nice little even trade off with somebody that's going to come in and help um, Trey. Trey is good. However, he's been off a little bit as well this year. So I mean, and maybe they need someone to come in, that's got some sort of connection where they can hype up the team to get to where they need to be. Sometimes that energy from somebody else gravitates, you know.
See, Lady E is see this is what we call the everyman, the fans language. Basically, what she's saying is this, boy. She's saying the team does not play with the consistent intensity that you need to compete in the NBA playoffs. And ironically, the team themselves know that because if you guys go to our Instagram page, Real Talk Sports 7, or you go to the YouTube page, Real Talk Sports TV, you'll see some interviews with Trey himself. When I asked him about how proud he was about his defense, he said, well, it's about effort. Duh. Well, then why can't you guys give that kind of effort game in and game out?
Hmm.
See,
Hmm.
this is really the thing. I mean, we could talk about plugging this guy, plugging that guy. The only thing I think the Hawks could possibly use would be an enforcer. A guy, when I say an enforcer, I know the women say, oh, brother, but I'm not talking about hurting anybody. I'm just saying that, sometimes you need somebody to lay the law down.
Hmm.
Somebody that's going to, say, hey, if you do something, there's going to be a penalty to be paid for your misbehavior. I'm
Hmm.
just saying. And they need a guy that, can stand up against some of these teams that have the muscle and that have that type of player that the Hawks currently don't have. So, again, that would be me. And I think that a guy like that could even help the team to stay on task to provide the energy needed consistently. Not just like, hey, we do it for a quarter and then we don't do it. I mean, that has to be their MO. Their MO has to be, hey, man, we are going to be that team. The team that dives on the ground for loose balls, the team that contends for every loose ball, the team that contends defensively on every shot.
Hmm.
Because when they play like that, the Hawks are a very tough team to beat.
Hmm. Hmm.
We saw it against the Celtics. We saw it against Miami Heat. When they play four quarters, hey, we're all in. We're going to do what it takes. Either they win or they lose by a very narrow margin.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
and two. And it's going to take, I think, a buy-in from Trey because unfortunately, today, which is good and bad. Today, the younger athlete is much more candid in speaking to the press, which
Hmm.
sometimes is good. I mean, we don't want people to come on and lie, but sometimes you have to kind of think about what you're saying. Because even the Bible says what you speak. And so Trey has been on record saying that he feels that some of the games during the regular season, especially, are kind of boring.
Mm. Mm.
Well, we get you, bro. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you're a paid professional. So you have to go in with energy, whether you are bored, whether you have a bad day, whether you like it or don't like it, because that's how we get the term professional.
Now, isn't he a captain or something of the team, or was he?
He's not necessarily the captain. I think actually the captain is a new guy, DeJounte Murray, I think is actually captain because he wants that leadership. Trey really apparently does not really want that,
Mm,
which is another thing that's troubling that your star player really doesn't want to kind of be the leader of the team.
mm.
But, I
There's
mean,
got to be something behind that, though. Why? You know, when he first came, he was excited. So something along the way changed that.
yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it's like this. These guys get paid a lot of money,
Yeah.
so sometimes when you get paid a big check, your excitement can wane. The other thing too is I know from speaking, this is going back, Lord have mercy, 50 years ago, but I think it still rings true. When I was teenager, maybe early young adult, so you going back maybe 40 something years, we had a guy from our hometown by the name of Calvin Murphy. We used to call him the Mighty Mite. He was all of 5'9", and he became a legendary collegiate basketball player and later went on to play, I think, was 16 or 17 years in the NBA. And until very recently had the NBA record for the highest percentage of free throws made. He actually made over his career
Mm,
about 90% of his free throws for his whole 17-year career.
mm.
Now, lady, what to get to understand what that means is that means that you can only miss one shot out of 10. You can only miss 8 or 9 shots out of 100.
Wow.
And he did that consistently for almost 17 years. His name is Calvin Murphy. And one of the things that he said is that when he first got to the NBA, you're a rookie, you're excited because you've kind of finally reached your goal. And now you're playing against some of the guys that you looked up and idolized too. He said, but really after that, I think he said the second year, he said, because you get into contract negotiations and things like that, he said really became more of a business.
Hmm.
And he says some of the joy of playing began to wane because it became more of a job,
Mm.
a
Wow.
fun job, but still more of a job.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if Trey Young has fallen to that category, where it's become too much more like a job.
Yeah, that sounds like it. And then what do you do when you start feeling that way?
Right, right. I mean, because really the great ones, I mean, all these guys go through some point in time where they feel like, you know, hey, I'm not that interested in this, or hey, I don't want to do this. Matter of fact, in today's time, players have what they call load management,
Mm. And
where
explain.
a player says, hey, I feel like I shouldn't play this game because I need to pace myself and be available for games later on in the season. Now, look here. Okay, I get it. I understand that playoffs are the thing that everybody strives for. I understand that championship is it, and certainly you want to be at your best. But without sounding like that old guy in a barbershop, I mean, how do you think these guys made it in years past where the conditions weren't as good as what they have today? You didn't have, in many cases, the virtual 24/7 accessibility to a trainer. You didn't have your own dietitians. Again, they've been flying first class, I think, for a good while, but still, some of these guys they just weren't doing that. I mean, and they weren't getting paid anywhere near the money that these guys are getting paid now. So in many cases, they had to play.
Hmm.
And not only that, forget all the money, forget the thing. These guys, they had a pride and they had a competitive spirit that says, I want to be on the court. I think because these guys knew that, hey man, it's a privilege, it's a blessing for me to be out here to play a game I really do more than enjoy, love. And so these guys thought it in just impossible. They would fight the owners, not the owners, but they would sometimes fight the coaches. I don't mean fight physically, but say, hey, listen, I want to play. And they would say, hey, dude, the trainer said you can't do this. And these guys would do all kind of crazy things. They would, tape their arm in a splint. They go
Ooh.
out there with broken limbs because they had a competitive drive. And in fact, the game is something that consumed them.
Mm. Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that is the end all be all. I'm saying there's some health issues in that. I get it. But I guess today, that competitive spirit is not what it used to be.
Hmm.
And that drive to
Hmm.
be great virtually at any cost is not there.
Wow. Yeah. Mm.
So
Just
that's really what I see here is that, like I said, with the Hawks, I don't think you necessarily need to, unravel the team. I don't think you need to trade all these guys. What I think is that you just need to find someone in here, and hopefully this new coach is that guy that the team buys into the concept that you have to play hard
hmm hmm
every game, every team for a whole game. That's it. I think if they could do that, I think this team would be a tough team to beat. I think they could consistently contend in postseason play. But without that, I mean, you can put as many coaches you want in here. You can keep shuffling the players around. But at some point, the players collectively have to say, hey, you know what? We're all in. Whatever it takes, we're going to do whatever we need to do to win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
that's
the goal
it.
that they should set because we've never won a ring.
Yeah, I mean, right. And see, here's the thing. Here's how, like I said, great teams, they find a way to be great in those moments where they need to be great. I remember watching, which I've done for years, highlights of Super Bowls past. And they were talking about the last Super Bowl that those legendary Steeler teams of the 70s won against the Rams. And in that Super Bowl, you could tell the Steelers were kind of aging, and the Rams had a younger team, and the Rams were giving them everything they had. As a matter of fact, the Rams had a lead. And the announcer, not the announcer, but the guy that did the highlights, he said, great teams are not great all the time, but they're great when they have to be.
Mm.
And that's what the Steelers did in that game. In the key moments of those games, those pivotal points, those great Steeler players mustered up that championship DNA to make the plays that basically broke the back of the Rams and allowed them to win that game. And so that's what the great ones always did. They were able to push past, like Michael Jordan, playing through a flu. The guy was sick as a dog.
Yeah.
But he found a way because he knew this was the moment. A championship was on the line, and he found a way to play. Willis Reed, who just passed away not too long ago at age 82. Anybody that grew up in New York in the 60s and 70s remember Marv Albert, another great announcer, calling out in Game 7. The Knicks were challenged. They were trying to win the NBA title, and Willis Reed, who was their captain, got injured.
hmm
And they said he's not going to be able to play in this pivotal Game 7 in New York. The Lakers at that time had Wilt Chamberlain. They had Jerry West. They had, 2 or 3 of the greatest players ever to play the game. And everybody was like, hey, he's not going to play. And then all of a sudden, this from out of the tunnel, limping, basically on one leg, here comes Willis Reed, and you hear the announcer say, here comes the captain. And the old Madison Square Garden literally explodes. Fan goes wild as this guy comes out. And the Lakers, you can see, they're like, uh-oh. And even though he only played the first 4 or 5 minutes of that game, you know what he did? He came in, he's hobbling down the court, the Knicks passing the ball, and the very first shot he takes hits nothing but net. The place goes berserk. Comes down again, does the same thing. They take him out, and then Walt Frazier took over and actually had one of the great NBA Finals games. But Willis Reed understood that can't play the whole game, but me just coming out here will inspire my teammates and inspire the fans because, it's hard to play when you're in a loud stadium, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
And that's what you need. You need, again, I'm not trying to tell anybody they should go out there and put themselves in the position to permanently injure themselves or anything like that. But I'm saying there are times where you have to push through the malaise, as Jimmy Carter used to say, and be great when it's time to be great.
hmm
And that's what's going to make the difference for this Hawks team. Like I said, you can put as many players as you want on there. It's not going to make a difference. They need some heart, baby. Just saying. All right, well, listen, speaking of heart, if you guys got real heart, you stay with us. We got a little bit more in the broadcast left, but we got to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Those are the sounds, and for them of you watching the sights of high school football, like I say again, we do that every fall. We bring it to you live. But speaking of community, you guys who are watching can see it up on the screen. I do have the flyer there for the first annual Jam for Peace. It is there, and you can see it right there. And hopefully you guys will be able to do it. Lady, I'm going to let you take over the broadcast. Like I mentioned, I am at work, and I'm going to let you kind of take over and tell people a little bit more about the Jam for Peace.
All right. Well, it's the first annual Jam for Peace with the legendary WIGO Pace Setter 1570 crew on board. This is a presentation by Pastor Wheat, and we're giving back to the community. We want to share with you a good time. We want to share with you jobs for people who need jobs. We want you to have a great time there with activities for the children. We're going to have a car show. There'll be performances in gospel, R&B, rap. We're going to have poetry, dance. We'll even have a raffle with prizes. And we're going to have some special guest appearances as well. So it's going to be hosted by our own Kevin Buchanan. So you want to say hi to him when you get there. And also, I'm going to be there too as soon as I get off today. So come by and say hi to the WIGO crew. And Jonathan, again, if you can escape, you come on by. I know you gotta, stay there. I think you said till 4. So come on by when you can. It's going to be some good times there. All right. And also tomorrow, I air my show called The History, the Song, the Artist on Sunday, 5 p.m.
All right. And also tomorrow,
and on the legendary WIGO 1570 Pace Setter. Sorry, I had a double voice going on here. Anyway, I am Erica Holloway, better known as Lady E. And I am going to re-air my show that I did last week. I was a busy girl this week, so it was actually a pretty nice show too. I was listening to it and I said, okay. So I featured Little Kim. So tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. I'm thinking about this Jam for Peace thing, so that's why I'm a little bit edgy in my talking. But the history, the song, the artist, with yours truly, Erica Holloway at 5 p.m.
There we go. I'm unmuted. There we go. Yeah. So if you want to check her out tomorrow, please, guys, do so. Lady E will be in the building, talking to you about some of the great R&B artists from the past. And yeah, Lil Kim. Yeah, you got a lot to talk about with her, no doubt. Listen, speaking of talk, we're gonna do this really, really quick. I don't know if she's actually her audio is on, but this young lady that's been in the green room for a while. She's actually a good friend of the show. She serves as our camera person. She also is going to be one of our future sponsors because she has a great location in East Atlanta called Honey Please. It's actually a upscale foot spa. So you can go there and get your feet did right. I'm gonna see if we got some audio here from her. Let me go pop her up here and see if I can add her to the stream here. Let's see if Miss Erica, the other Miss Erica, is there. Erica, can you say hello to everybody? I guess her mic is muted, so we'll have her join us next time on the broadcast. But yeah, that's the name of the spot. It's called Honey Please. It's located right in East Atlanta, right there where all the kind of the bars and pubs are, right there on the corner. Beautiful spot. When you come in there, Erica, you'll feel like you're Lady E. You'll feel like you're in a different world. Wonderful place. Her team will take care of your feet. When you finish with her, you almost don't want to put your feet back onto your shoe.
That sounds like something I'm going to do for my birthday.
I'm just telling you, you'll feel good. Well, speaking of feeling good, guys, if you want to stay feeling good, keep it locked right here to the legendary WIGO. Pay to the 1570. Lock it on your dial. Also, go online at WIGO1570.com. And we would love to, have you join us. We'll go to social media here really quickly. And this is a guy I had a chance to meet in person. The other day, we were going into the Sam's Club. And that's Smitty from Smitty Sports Machine. Smitty, if you're still there, big shout out to you. Guys, go to his YouTube page. That's it, Smitty Sports Machine. Now, Lady, I know you're a big Falcons fan. He's really the dude that talks Falcons 24/7. So, again, Smitty Sports Machine. All right, we got to go. For those of you listening to WIGO, the legendary WIGO, page to the 1570 AM. We appreciate you for joining us. We also appreciate those of you who are listening and watching on the replay. And you know how we do it when we end this show? We just want to say, hey, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, get to know him today. He loves you, he died for you, and he rose from the dead. That means you have forgiveness of your sins. And when you die, you go to a happy place called heaven, not that bad place called hell. And you can live a life well lived on the earth. All right, guys, until the next time we get together again, God bless you and have a wonderful day. So long and take care.